now I got the new coat to accommodate the bloat, and so my stimulator just really isn't doing the job, and I'm not gonna knock it, and I'm not gonna tell you if you're thinking about it. I'm not gonna tell you not to get it, because everybody is different. Hey guys, so my camera is back up and charged up. So, you know, my friend asked me today while I was on the phone with her after she got off from work, so, what are you eating tonight? What are you cooking? Nothing? Well, what are you gonna eat? Nothing? Aren't you hungry? No? Well, you know, gastroparesis does that to you. I ate a little bit of Five Guys yesterday with my husband before he went back. Hold on. And this is why, you guys, I'm going to tell you, you can't really see it through my screen. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, I had to call down to the office to find out what day our garbage runs, and it runs on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. The reason why I ask is because the last few weeks I've not been able to get rid of sharps containers because our garbage has been running over, and loose garbage has been running over the apartments, and we've been picking it up. I have to find out what days they are done because of this very reason right here. We had dumpster divers, and in the state of Kentucky you can get rid of your sharps containers and the regular garbage. You just gotta make sure you have it kind of inconspicuous, so hopefully nobody that's dumpster diving will find it. I usually put mine in with my regular garbage, but I waited, and I'm going to do it tonight and put it in there just for this very reason. We had somebody dumpster diving right now. Okay guys, I was going to tell you that earlier, but then I seen this truck and it kind of caught my attention, but then when he came up to that dumpster, I just went ahead and just tell you what I was planning on telling you later, but now since he's there, go ahead and tell you now. So anyway, back to eating. So yeah, I had Five Guys with my husband. Anytime that I eat really anything, I cut it in half. I cut it in half. Maybe I might eat it later, or maybe it's gonna make a mess, or who knows why I do it. But anyway, my stomach, even though I have the stimulator, still does not empty out on its own. It just doesn't. I don't know why. It's a pain in my butt, but it doesn't. So, yeah, my friend says, so, you know, what are you cooking? I said, nothing. Not fixing anything. What are you going to eat? Nothing. You're not eating anything? No. She said, okay, well, yeah, well. So, you know, the thing with my gastroparesis, I have the gastric pacer, the anterior neurostimulator, whatever you want to call it, whatever you've heard it being called. I am at 10.5. You max out at 12. I had my surgery done July of last year. And I have been given medication that's normally prescribed for IBS because of the effects it has on bloating, to try to help me with my bloating, because in a previous vlog, I will post it up in here somewhere, I even had to go out and buy a new winter coat because my bloating can get so bad that I look pregnant. And that wasn't the only reason. I don't know. I've gained weight. My boobs have gotten bigger, and that was also another issue. I couldn't zip it all the way up. So now I got the new coat to accommodate the bloat, and so my stimulator just really isn't doing the job. And I'm not gonna knock it, and I'm not gonna tell you, if you're thinking about it, I'm not gonna tell you not to get it, because everybody is different. It might help you, and you know, and maybe further down the road, it might even help you even more once you get it adjusted more or whatever. But for me, it doesn't seem like it's doing the job. So, with me, my stomach makes me extremely nauseous. I will vomit. It doesn't matter. I can be out with my friend. We can be having a pretty good day, and all of a sudden it starts. It doesn't have a time. It doesn't have a certain day. It just happens. There is no warning. It just happens. Mine is worse with the nausea at night. Your body, your stomach makes 2 liters, 2 liters of acid a day. So if you think about that, is a lot of acid, and that's a lot of our problem, because our stomach makes that much acid. And I've been sleeping in my bed, but I don't move a lot, and my husband's not home, so if I do move, I'm not waking him up, and I'm able to stay raised up on my pillows. And when he's home, sometimes I can, especially if I have my nausea at bay before I go to sleep. But if I wake up and it's not, and then I come back out here and sleep on my sofa, because it reclines and it reclines really good far back, but it keeps my head upright, and that's what I need to keep any acid from coming back up. But I'm also on Protonics, 40 milligrams twice a day. I take it in the morning and I take it at night. And I can take Nexium with it if I want. So I have many different things I can do with it, and then you add the Crohn's with it, and it just makes your life miserable. So right now, my main culprit is the gastroparesis, and so yeah. Yesterday I ate about a little bit over a half of my little hamburger, and I had another bite. Well, my other bite didn't get swallowed, because my stomach has this little thing telling my mouth that, you know what, spit that out, because you're not going to swallow it. I'm not going to let you. And it doesn't matter where I'm at. I can be at Texas Roadhouse, Longhorns, Wendy's, somebody's house, it doesn't matter. I have to spit it out or I will get sick and I will vomit. So I have to listen to it and I have to do what it says. Now with that, I didn't get to eat a whole lot. Now today, I am not hungry. I feel full. I am bloated. I weighed myself. I've lost weight. And I don't know exactly how much weight I've really lost. Because women carry automatically, before you're sick, we have water weight. We all have it. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how fit you are. We carry some water weight. Now, that being said, I do IV hydration fluids every day. So, with me doing IV hydration fluids, my weight is usually higher than what I really am. So, for me to be weighing what I am, doing my IV hydration, then I'm actually, because not only am I feeling that I'm losing weight, then I know that what the scales are saying, that I'm weighing less. And that makes me feel good, because it has been a very hard road for me trying to get rid of weight. Even though I'm not really trying, my body's not letting me eat, but I've been kind of down in the dumps because, you know, this is the highest I've ever weighed, and had I not been on Entyvio, then I never would have been like this to begin with. And it's a bad way to lose weight, really it is. And it's not a healthy way, and I'm not eating because I want to lose weight. I'm not eating because my stomach's, I get full easily, because my stomach, what does my stomach do? Hold on, I have brain fog. My stomach doesn't work. I have a very, very delayed stomach. Gastroparesis means paralyzed stomach. My stomach just does not want to work, even with the gastric stimulator. It does what it wants to do when it wants to do it, and I'm just along for the ride. So I can probably go for about 3 more days, and then my stomach will have turned and moved some stuff out of the way. Then I might get a little bit of a hunger, and when I do, it won't be anything heavy. The bad part about having gastroparesis, the foods that we normally go toward aren't the foods that are good for you. And the reason being is because they are easily digested. They tend not to bother our stomachs. And so that's why we eat a lot of processed foods. I'm not saying that I sit here and I buy, I buy meat. I don't buy junk food. Now, my husband, I think he bought out Kroger before he came home the last time. But I don't go out and buy junk food. The only thing that I'll buy is, like, I'll buy Dole fruit cups. I'll buy Little Debbie snacks for him for work. I'll buy some chips. Like, if I'm planning on making manwich, I'll buy some chips. Yeah, I'll buy those types of things. I don't buy a lot of junk food. I drink a lot of smoothies because they have a lot of the good nutrients. I do have a big supply of Pepsi and Coke products. I have always stocked up on them when they're on sale, and just because, you know, a lot of times before and after holidays, that's when they will have their sales. And so it's just me and my husband. But, you know, I never know when my kids are going to pop in, and so if I have them, I have them. Well, right now I've got 30 cases of 12 packs, but when you can get them at 4 12s for 11, what do? You go ahead and you get them. So I really have not been drinking pop. I bought some A&W cream sodas this last time. I bought 2 of them, and I think I've drank 6 of them over the past 3 weeks since I've had them. And I like Lipton green tea, and I can get a 24 pack at Sam's for $8 versus Kroger's 6 pack or 12 versus Kroger's 12 pack at $6, excuse me. So I drink a lot of that, and then of course my IV fluids, and then I buy a lot of the already made smoothies, and then I'll also buy at Sam's the stuff to make smoothies, and then all you have to do is just get juice to blend with it. And so we don't have a lot of junk food in here, and it's a lot of food that, you know, I buy that I can make, and it lasts, you know, a couple, 2 or 3 days, and, you know, so my husband can eat, but I haven't had to really cook since he's been away, and that's fine with me, because like I said, my stomach just has a mind of its own. It works when it wants to, and I'm along for the ride. And, you know, I've read and seen where a lot of people are like me. It's worse at night. And, you know, our stomach produces, you know, 2 liters of acid. And so, you know, at night a lot of people don't raise their heads at their bed, and or they don't sleep with pillows or whatever, enough pillows that raise them up enough to keep the acid down. And since our stomachs don't work anyway, all that does is pushes it back up. And so that could be part of the issue. And so I've read a lot, or I've seen a lot of videos of people with gastroparesis. Not everybody. So I was really lucky on how quickly I was able to get into the motility clinic. My surgeon had already, he was doing my IV hydration therapy. He decided to do that to keep me from being in the hospital so much, because I was staying dehydrated all the time. A big portion of that was my body. It just doesn't work like everybody else's. And another part of the reason was I lost a lot of my fluids out of my ileostomy. And so now my biggest problem, and why I went to on the go with my IV fluids, is because my husband and I and my son, well, I had just gotten out of the hospital in the June prior to the July that we went to Cedar Point, 2014 I think, and I couldn't keep up. One of them, it could have been because, you know, I had been in and out of the hospital so many times already that year. I was in the hospital 2 or 3 times in January, then again in March, then again in July, and then we were at Cedar Point in Ohio in July. And then, lo and behold, I had no idea what was coming my way after that. And so I wasn't able to keep up. I was staying dehydrated. It didn't matter what I was drinking. If I was drinking water, Powerade, I couldn't stay hydrated. So in 2014, after my huge slew of admissions, I was sent home on lactated drinkers, and then they finally moved me off of that and on to normal saline. And I had thought about the idea of it would be so nice, you know, if I could have a backpack with my fluids and some kind of a small pump. Well, I didn't even know those existed until this past year. And so I said something because I had seen it on YouTube, and I was like, oh my God, that's what I've been wanting. We had, see, we didn't do them last year. So it was 2016. We had season passes to Kentucky Kingdom. That was my breaking point. I went with my friends once or twice, and we didn't walk all over the park. We just didn't. And I had bought one of those souvenir cups, you know. I was already a past member, and then I bought the cup, and then I got I think I only paid like 89 cents to refill it or whatever, and then I could use it the rest of the year. So my husband and I went, and Kentucky Kingdom is not big. It is so limited on the space that it can build on. And so we had to go from one side of the park all the way to the other side to get to the roller coasters. Now mind you, these roller coasters are nothing like Cedar Point. So once you go to Cedar Point, you're ruined for all the other theme parks. So we go to these roller coasters, and we are constantly refilling. I am feeling horrible. I mean, just absolutely horrible. I can't keep enough down. There's just something not right. And I'm just like, Ed, I can't do this. Do you not understand? Whatever I'm drinking is coming right back out. I feel horrible. I can't go anymore. We get close to the entrance, and I'm stopping. I'm like, I can't. I don't know what you're going to have to do. I cannot go. I'm done. My body is depleted. I can't do it. And we get outside, and I'm like, oh God. I'm like, and he's mad at this point because he's not understanding what's going on with my body. He thinks that if I just drink more, that if I just keep drinking and drinking, I'll get hydrated, and that was not the case. The case was I needed the IV fluids in my veins going through my bloodstream. So finally made it. I was miserable. He was miserable. And I got home and I ran 2 bags of fluid that day. And then I finally started feeling better. But after that, we decided no more park passes. Doesn't matter how nice it made it for something for us to do, but you know, it really wasn't worth it. I mean, we only paid like $50 a pass because I got in before the park opened. So it really wasn't the cost. It was just the idea that, you know, it's not, it wasn't that great, okay? It wasn't that great. So anyway, so I went over to On The Go, I think in September, after I seen that people were actually on the go. And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, yes! I'm going to do this, because this is what I've been wanting to do. A lot of times when we go on trips, they're always 5 hours or more. And so I wasn't taking my pump with me because that pump was so heavy. And then you would have to take the pole. Well, I got away from taking the pole and just taking the pump. when my port started getting clogged up with this tiny blood clots and the scar tissue, I was away and I didn't bring my pump because I was just running it through gravity. And when you run it through gravity, it runs much faster. The problem was when you have little blood clots and scar tissue in the way, it's not going to go because you have that in the way. So I wasn't getting my fluids, which made me miserable for the rest of the trip. So now, of course, I did the cath flow when I went year before last, and then it acted like it was starting to get a little bit more clogged up again. Then I had to have the iron infusions. Those iron infusions, it wasn't 15 minutes that they ran, and it blew whatever was in the way out of the way. So it isn't entirely that there is anything wrong with your port. If you pull back and you're not getting blood flow, it can be scar tissue, it can be little itty bitty blood clots. It's not always something major. Don't get upset over it because it's really not a big deal. It's something that can be taken care of. The one thing that I have learned over the years of having my port, as long as you can flush it, it's usually not anything really bad. You can always get cath flow to break it up. I know, and I know a lot of other people can do this. When I'm flushing, I can taste the normal saline. So when I'm tasting that normal saline, I know it's in place. But when I can't pull back blood, sometimes it's either I don't exactly have it maybe in the right, maybe I've got up against the wall in the back, or maybe it's scar tissue and a little blood clot. That's all it is. So I don't get worried about it. As long as I can taste it, it's good. So, I mean, mine is old, but this is what mine looks like. You can see it's got, you see the bruising, and it's got scar tissue and little blood clots, but mine's old. And they actually said in the hospital for mine to be 4 years old that it being used daily, been used for infusions after infusions, that yeah, it's a good thing I didn't stick that out there because he literally went through the entire dumpster. Yeah, said that because mine's 4 years old and I use it daily, and it's been used for infusions and potassium runs, magnesium runs, you name it, it's been used for a lot of things, and a lot of antibiotic runs, that it has seen some really tough days, but it's still going, and that's a good thing, and it has already lived a very long life and a very good life. So I'm considered lucky because a port normally lives about 10 years, and it depends on what you use it for, how often you use it, and the care is given to it. I do my own care. When I first got it, I had home health. I had home health the year before because I had a surgery and one of the places on my surgery, but lower than my belly button, did not heal right. And so I had to have wound care out. And then the places around my stoma started opening up. I had to have wound care out for that. And then when I got my port, I had to have somebody out here for that. I started taking care of my port on my own. I didn't ask. I didn't say anything about it. But we had really, really bad weather. And I hadn't had it very long. And my nurses weren't able to get to me. I had already had 2 really, really bad nurses that thought they knew what they were doing, and they didn't. And I got rid of them and called VNA and said, do not ever send these people back out here again, and requested another nurse because my nurse was on vacation. And when nobody could get to me because the weather was really, really bad, I did it myself. And after that, they said, well, you feel comfortable with it. How many times did it take you? And they called my doctor, signed off, and I've done it ever since. If at any point that I feel like there's something wrong and I'm not sure what's going on and I need a nurse, they will send one out. If at any time that I need any help with any new pumps or whatever, I can get a pump. I can get a nurse sent out, because my infusion center and VNA, they are connected. And then, like, any other things that I need, like when I got my hospital bed and stuff like that, that was all part of Norton's, which is normally the hospital that I go to, and the doctors that I have. Now, I do go to Jewish also. I'm trying to think about Baptist Hospital, but I don't think so. And, so, anyway, but I have, yeah, my gastroparesis is the biggest part of my issues, and my Crohn's is kind of like the lion that's kind of sat back in the corner and has kind of just laid back and is watching everything playing out right now. And so, but I have really, really good care. They take care of, well, they have to take care of the gastric pacer. They took over my IV infusions. They automatically, my very first visit, they gave me IV Zofran. I can take 8 milligrams every 6 hours. And they gave me IV Phenergan, 25 milligrams every 3 hours. So they've taken care of me, and I know that I'm very lucky, because I've been on other people's sites who don't get some of the things that I get, and I kind of feel sorry for them, because, you know, I think that they should see a gastric motility specialist. And sometimes I wonder if they even have been talked to about one, or if they even know that they exist. There's not a whole lot of them, and so, you know, if you can find one, usually you have to drive. And I'm just lucky that I live here in Louisville, and there is one here in Louisville. The next closest one is in Cleveland. And so, I mean, it's something you have to do homework on. And then once you find one, it can take, you know, 6 to 8 months to get in. And that's another place I was lucky, because my regular GI is also affiliated with the GI Motility Clinic. Before I even got out of the hospital, I already had an appointment to see the GI motility clinic. So all my doctors, they work together, they're all on the same team, they're all with the same people, and so in that aspect, I'm very lucky. And, you know, I'm just along with the ride with the gastroparesis, and I just wish everybody else had the information and had the doctors and, you know, insurance. It's really hard to pay once you do get the gastric stimulator, or even thinking about getting the gastric stimulator. Medicare and Medicaid will pay for it. Private insurances, you have to have prior approval, and even then they will fight with you on paying for it. So still though, if you are still interested in it though, that would be something that I would look into. I don't know why other GIs don't say anything about it, because, you know, I've listened to other people and never heard them say anything about a gastric motility clinic. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. You guys have a great day, and good night.